Hello, and thank you for joining us on Corcom for this video interview. I'll begin by presenting you our host, Glingener, Chief Technology Officer at Adva. Adva is an international telecommunications vendor with headquarters in Germany that provides network equipment for data storage, voice, and video service. In this video interview, we will talk about O-RAN, which is aimed to transform the radio access networks industry towards open, intelligent, virtualized, and fully interoperable RAN. Welcome, Christoph, and thank you for being with us today.
Hello, Antonello.
Let's start with the first question. Why Adva is involved in O-RAN, and which benefits do you expect companies could obtain committing to this approach?
Okay, let's maybe first of all talk about O-RAN a little bit and what is that? What is actually meant by that? So first of all, it is about disaggregation and virtualization of radio access networks. So in very simple saying, as opposed to buying big overall solutions, people can in the future go after individual hardware and software pieces and put an overall solution together. Now, what are the perceived benefits of that? First of all, operators see it like getting less vendor dependency, being less dependent on big vendors, and having the ability to, at the end of the day, lower the cost. But then you also see governments, for example, pushing it. We see that in Germany, in the UK, all over Europe, as a means towards local IP. So have some local companies, maybe small startup companies, being involved in doing that, as opposed to the very big guys. So why are we involved? Why is Adva involved in this? We believe that we provide essential key parts to the overall solution. That is connectivity, could be compute and hosting, could be synchronization. And we've always been active in disaggregation and virtualization. We believe in it. We believe it's the right way forward to put things more into pieces and then put them together again. So we also believe that O-RAN offers advanced wholesale setups. So companies coming together, maybe joining towers, joining solutions, sharing their solutions and making it simpler and faster to deploy, for example, 5G networks. So we will see that coming. So besides all these benefits, network operators see O-RAN as a mean to get lower cost and be faster, but there are also many new entrants. For example, enterprises, campus networks, for example, for factory automation, for smart cities, for things like that. So there are lots of benefits in doing this, providing from operators over enterprises, but also opportunities to software startups, small companies being involved in this, as opposed to the usual big companies driving it all.
What's the status of O-RAN today, and where the most important challenges are, in your point of view, if we want an O-RAN really effective?
So first of all, we have to take a little bit of a step back. O-RAN is very hyped. Like a lot of hypes in industry and media and so on, you have to look at the details and you have to find, I always say, signal in the noise. So what is real behind it? But if we really look at the challenges, I see two key challenges. One is we need to fully define all the interfaces in detail between the different hardware and software components. It needs to be defined to the lowest level of detail. For example, this ranges from interface definitions of some pluggables you put into antennas on one end, and then they go into a street cabinet in some distributed units. So this physical layer already needs to be defined so that it fits together. That's still simple. It ranges all the way up to end-to-end management solutions, how to manage this all. So all of this needs to be defined and is being addressed in the O-RAN Alliance. One key challenge. The second key challenge is, it sounds a little bit contradictory, but it is, when we put things into pieces, we disaggregate it, we need to put it together again. We need to integrate it, we need to test it, and to homologate it. So that's also a challenge and also an opportunity for new entrants into the market to take the individual pieces, put them all together, test them, put a stamp on it and say it works in this configuration, dear customer XYZ, so you can use it. So those are, in my view, the big challenges to finally be successful with O-RAN.
What is at stake in O-RAN? How much important is collaboration between companies and industries in this new field?
So at the end of the day, of course, I already talked about the O-RAN Alliance as an industry consortium addressing this. It's all about collaboration. If we want to define those interfaces I just talked about, all the definitions we need, even the overall solutions, we need to collaborate and need to work together and define it. That starts, for example, on one end, use cases. And this is not just the big operators replacing what they usually bought by some new disaggregated and virtual solutions. This is also enterprise networks. For example, I talked about factory automation, or take smart cities, smart energy. So we need to define those use cases and exactly look at the requirement and what does it mean for the overall solution. On the other hand, we need to look at complex technical matters. This could be low latency, it could be synchronization, it could be hardware acceleration, lots of really difficult topics which need to be addressed. And in an overall disaggregated setup can only be done by interworking, putting people together who solve this and define all those interfaces and solutions. So if you look at the O-RAN Alliance today, there are about 25 operators and 230 different industry members, but also research institutions in that. And as such, each and every big name, who is who of the networking industry, is part of this. And I believe really with all these people together, we can see lots of future improvements and right solutions, good solutions coming to the market.
The last question is about Italy. How do you see the interest on O-RAN in our country? Are telcos considering it as a true opportunity?
Absolutely, I believe so. So first of all, if you go back to the O-RAN Alliance and you look at those members, you got big Italian members in that too, like TIM, like Vodafone. They are, for example, members of the O-RAN Alliance. And as such, they believe in the benefits. And as I said already, one of the benefits is the hope to lower costs, which everybody has interest in. On top, I'm very convinced that you will see lots of use cases in enterprise and campus networks, of course also in Italy. I mentioned some already. You can go on and talk about smart utilities, power utilities, all this will go into these type of setups, down to small campus networks, small enterprise networks. And for example, to use an Italian example, we probably see such a solution in each and every coffee shop sooner or later. It might be owned by an operator, it might be owned by the coffee shop chain or by the small coffee shop owner. We will see. But I'm very convinced that we will see all these solutions also being pushed in Italy. And these are opportunities, not just for the enterprises or the coffee shop owner, but also for integrators and also for bigger operators to offer these solutions. Go back to the coffee shop example. So offer these solutions to these owners now. As Adva, we are accompanying this in Italy with a very strong local team, but we also use the strong local team to show our Italian customers what we learn all over the globe in terms of different O-RAN setups and how we put these solutions together, and then basically go into prototypes and hopefully also push and help the rollout of these solutions in Italy.
Thank you very much, Christoph, and I hope to talk about you again in the future.
Thank you, Antonello.